This is my second podcast for relations between Russia and Canada. Russia has had a huge effect on Canadian sport, more specifically hockey. I'll talk more about the other sports, get onto the hockey after. They've introduced and developed women's sport. They wanted to do it to create equality and, more importantly, win the Olympics. They're doing that in a kind of manipulative way. They thought, oh, if women can go in the Olympics, then we've got more people playing, more chances of winning. Canada just followed the trend there by letting women play. They've developed sports science and the professionalism of sports. Okay, so on to the hockey. They changed the way hockey works. They rely on quick passes and different skating techniques to compensate for all the poor equipment that Russia had. So this changed how hockey worked. It happened in 1972 at the Summit Series. It's now It's now the way people play. So with the Summit Series, this is most important part about the sports and how it's changed us, affected us. There was the 8th game, I believe, between Russia and Canada Summit Series. There were it was after the Cold War. There was tension between Russia and Canada. This was a really big game. Canada thought they'd win easily. Didn't turn out that way. So with 34 seconds left on the clock, Canada scored to win 5-6 with a final score of 5-6. So huge for Canada. Without winning, Canada might not be the country everyone thinks of when hockey's mentioned. It could have been Russia. Hockey is a huge part of the Canadian identity and who we are. So without that, it really could have changed Canada, really could have changed our cultural identity. And talking about hockey doesn't seem important, but the way it shaped who Canada is and our stereotypes that make us up, that could have been totally different. Big win. It was a big win for Canada after that Cold War. It was good for us. Another thing that's important, our imports from Russia are very important. We receive mineral fuels, precious stones and metals, fertilizers, beverages, which I believe is referring more to the alcohol, iron and steel products from the Russian trade. They have an abundance of all these things that we can use, that we need here. Our exports to Russia are also very important. We send them building products and construction. They're very important to Russia whenever there's demand for housing, when it's expected to increase. For example, for the Olympics there, they believed that they'd have an increased number of people there, so they needed to build more, so they would have been getting trades, building products and such from Canada. Another thing that they look for is they've been expanding their mining operations, and they look to Canada for the equipment and the service. And then there's also agriculture for the technology and the equipment. It's not in crazy need because Russian farming equipment is cheaper, but Canadian equipment is known to be reliable. So that trade option is still there, and it's big for us. Trades are very big, important for us. They're our 19th biggest trade country. That's fairly far down, but a lot of the things we trade are important to them and from them. And then that's most of the significant things that have been in the past. We've got something that's just come about fairly recently. Russians just recently implemented a law that makes it so homosexual couples or single people can't adopt from Russia if they come from a country that supports homosexual relationships. So that could really cause a significant shift and a change in the way we have relations with Russia, because there's been people that have gone over there, met the kids, fallen in love with them, and then this law changed it. So these people, they're fighting against it. It could really shift and change the way we're working there. So that's upcoming. We'll see how that turns out. Other than that, I don't think I've got anything else to say. So it's really just been hockey, the Summit Series, the exports, imports, and then that event that could turn into something.